Those of us at A Fair Recovery want to wish you and yours well for this holiday season. And I know that when dealing with infidelity, that holidays are a particularly challenging time. It can be the best of times, it can be the worst of times, it can be the most awkward of times. You've got family coming in, people you haven't been seeing. Perhaps if nobody even knows, couples struggle with things such as having to pretend normal. And more than that, if you're trying to figure out what your history was for those ultimately who were injured through all of this, they're even wondering if past Christmases or past Thanksgivings or whatever even ultimately were real, what wasn't real. So it's also a very confusing time. But I'm hoping that I can give a few tips that may at least help it be a good time. And there may be some pretend normal, and there may be not knowing, but it is okay to still have a good holiday season. So here are a few things that I think that might help. Understandably, depending on where you're at in the recovery process, you may be feeling somewhat down and blue or whatever. If you're having a hard time, step back and just take a really deep breath and take the pressure off of yourself and just make an effort, because you can do this for a few days, if family's around, but make an effort to smile. Smile a lot. Make eye contact with other people and smile at them till they smile back. But just taking charge of other people in that sense, being able to bring just a smile to people. Giving to others is going to be one of those things that's going to help, which comes to the second tip, which is in research on what makes people happy. One of them is generosity, that ability to give. And when you give a smile to somebody and you make eye contact, those mirror neurons that we have in our head that kind of match another person, when they smile back, we get a little jolt, but you gave something to them. And that's going to help you feel better. If you're the person ultimately who's watching television and the other people are in the kitchen, maybe cooking or perhaps cleaning up, you'll find that you actually feel really good if you go in there and offer to serve. Just giving something there and tell the other people that have been working typically, go sit down. You go enjoy yourself. I'll take care of this. It's going to keep you occupied, keep you busy, but more than that, you'll feel better just because you're giving to others. If you're alone this holiday season, don't. Volunteer. I always tell people if they don't have family to be with, to go to a soup kitchen or volunteer with Brown Santa or something, deliver presents, but find a way that you can give to other people that keeps you involved. And while this may seem like a crazy suggestion, I would drop hints to friends that I don't have any place to spend Christmas. Try to get invited. I know that through the years, Steph and I have had plenty of strays come through our home and spend Christmas with us simply because, they didn't have another place. And we certainly had enough room to bring them in. So I know there would be people, if you're one of those that are alone, that would invite you. And hopefully you'll have the courage to kind of put yourself out there to see. But please don't do this alone. Either serve and do something for others or find somebody else to be with. I would also strongly suggest that you keep your expectations really low. Decide, what do we want? You may think that the solution to having a great holiday season is to do everything spot on perfect. And I can promise you probably the best way to assure you don't have a good holiday season is to have everything spot on perfect. One of my favorite sayings is, any job worth doing is worth doing poorly. Just get her done. So keep those expectations low. Don't sit there and try to get all of the dishes out of the oven at the same time and put this pressure on you to get this meal done at this particular place. Make it as simple as possible with very low expectations. Because when you take the pressure off of you, somehow thinking that performing is going to make it better, it won't. less pressure right now, and focusing on people are the things that will really help as you go forward. I'd also strongly encourage you to remember that holidays are not a time for group therapy. Take a vacation. It's a holiday, for goodness sake. Take a vacation from dealing with this stuff. Decide that during this time period, we're not going to talk about this. We're not going to talk about the infidelity. You know, there's plenty of time on the 26th of December to pick up talking about things. It doesn't mean that things change, but if you can stop talking about it, if you can tell people if they want to talk about it, you know, other family members that might not say, thank you, but actually we want this to be a zone where we're not even dealing with this. So set that whole piece of we're not going to talk about it, we're not going to do group therapy, and it's not about denial, it's just about giving yourself a break. I mean, think about it. Even like in World War I, on Christmas Eve, the Germans, the Americans, the French, they all put their guns down and went out in the middle and sang hymns together and celebrated life itself. So give yourself permission to do that. Take a break from talking about things. No group therapy. And if possible, try to maintain your rituals. I know for us at the Reynolds family, sitting around the table and everybody's sharing something that they're really grateful for during this past year. I mean, that's a huge ritual for us. Just the way we do presents, just the pattern. It brings a sense of normalcy into something right now that probably seems completely chaotic. So if you can do those rituals, I'd strongly suggest that you do them. If for some reason some of those rituals are too painful, then I would make a big deal about creating new rituals. Something new for the family to do that you can carry on to mark a new beginning. Because again, remember, this holiday season is about being able to celebrate life and being able to give gifts. I do hope you guys, all of us at Fair Recovery, hope you have a good holiday season. To healing.